Before I speak, what I wanted to do was bring members of the command staff up and have them to say a few words about our honoree today, Ernie Strozier. Obviously, he's impacted quite a few lives during his time here in the city of College Park, and we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to honor him appropriately. I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Furman Williford to come up first.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. Mr. Strozier's been here 30 years with the city. He's been in every division of the police department during that time. He's also been a fixture in the community, and we're going to miss him. Ernie, thanks for your hard work, for all you've done. We appreciate it. And we wish you blessings in the future and moving forward.
But I just want to say, you know, Strozier, you'll be missed. You've dedicated a lot of your time, and you put a lot of bad guys where they belong, taught a lot of people lessons, and you'll be missed, and I wish you luck and your family. You know, you got a good man here, and really appreciate everything you've done. I'm not good at making speeches, but enjoy your retirement. You've earned it.
Good afternoon, everybody. I won't be quite as long. I just want to say, Strozier, thank you for all the years of advice you've given me personally. I can remember particularly one year, Captain Kuznacki sent Strozier and me down to Florida for a week-long class, and we had to ride in the car all the way down there and back and spend a whole week together. And just the conversations that we had during that week, during our training, whether it be professional or personal, he may not know it, but I still remember a lot of those conversations that we had, and I apply many of those lessons that I learned to my personal and professional life today. So I just want to thank you. I know when I first started back in '98, you'd already been here for a while, but I would go down the street, and not many light-skinned brothers that was on the force back then. But I would go down there, and oftentimes they'd be like, well, you ain't Strozier, and I know Strozier. And I was like, you know, I didn't know, I knew him, but I knew of him, but I didn't know the man yet. So still trying to live up to that legacy, and just thanks for everything you've done for us, man.
I know that we have a lot of younger officers in the crowd, and I know that Ernie Strozier's touched so many of the people here. I wanted to see if any of the other members of the College Park Police Department wanted to come forward and share a few words about Ernest Strozier.
LT, you know, when I first started about 6.5 years ago, I started on your shift, Alpha shift. It was you and Sergeant Reiser at the time, and you kind of took me under your wing and showed me a lot of stuff, and I appreciate that. And then when you moved over to CID, you brought me over there as well. Learned a lot from you, and I want to tell you thank you very much for all the advice you've given me. You've helped me out not only in the field but also personally with my personal situations, my family, and I'm gonna miss you, man. Appreciate it.
Strozier is a very important person in my life. When I first got here, I didn't know anybody. I kind of watched and kind of stood back. I was kind of quiet and reserved because I wanted to find out what it meant to be a police officer. When I met Strozier and I finally heard of the myth and the legend, and when I would bump into people, particularly down in Zone 3, they said, "Is Strozier working today?" So that meant that knew that crime was going to be down if Strozier was working today. But I want to tell you, I wish you well. You taught me a lot of things about being a police officer, about being a professional, and about standing your ground and believing, speaking what you believe in. I just want to let you know that went a long way with me, and a lot of other officers probably feel the same way. And I just really wish you well, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Officer Scott. When I was delegated to Lieutenant Strozier's shift, he sat me down. We had a lot of heart-to-hearts as a young, cocky officer from Florida, thinking I knew everything. Still feel that way. But he basically told me I didn't know anything about policing and about being in Georgia. lot of heart-to-hearts, a lot of knowledge. He gave me the law book. He said, son, learn the law before you start enforcing the law. And just passing the torch down and just saying that it's going to be a long career. You have ups and downs, good days, bad days. But remember what you're doing it for and enjoying it. And I will always remember Lieutenant Strozier for that. And I just want to say thank you and appreciate everything you did for me.
I learned a lot from him. The time I've been here, working with him, you pick up something new every day. It's not just about locking people up and throwing away the key. You actually get to learn people, learn about their families, the people that you've locked up. He knew riding around with him was like you riding around with Michael Jackson or something, because everybody's like, hey, Stroh. Everybody knew who he was. And yeah, even the people that he locked up liked him. I'm like, man, how you get people to like you when you locked them up? So with that being said, I learned a lot about it's more than just locking people up. Okay, you don't have to be a hard butt and degrade someone. They're going to jail. But it's a gift to actually have the people that you just locked up still like you and still see you.
I remember when a lot of you all came on board with the College Park Department, especially Strozier. When he first started out, he was a fireman, I think, and he was putting out fires, the house fires. Next thing I know, it was drugs rampant in my community. And all the drug boys, they started to say, man, do you know Strozier? I say, no, I don't know him. But I saw him one day, and I don't know where he was from, but he ran like a rabbit to chase somebody down. He had a reputation in the neighborhood. He's gonna get you. If he's at you and you've done wrong, he's gonna set it right. And there's not a whole lot that I could say to you, Strozier, or place you in the gates of heaven, or sentence you to the gates of hell. You took on a responsibility and a job, and you did it very well. And I thank you. And I thank God for you, because our kids, they grew up together, and I learned more about you. They played football together. But Strozier, may God take a liking to you, and all your wishes and dreams come true. Peace.
I would just like to say this is a very happy moment for me, because Strozier and everybody up here, basically everybody here, taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about investigations, a lot. Like I said, I thought I knew it all. I was this, whatever. But he also taught me compassion for the citizens of College Park. He also taught me empathy. Like Wilson was saying, it's not always about locking someone up. It's about helping them.
There were two people that you wanted to be like when you first started here at College Park. You heard of Cagney and Lacey, Starsky and Hutch. It was Nemard and Strozier. Okay? I remember I never knew that the criminal could respect and fear you at the same time. And one thing I can remember, and I'm not going to be long about Strozier, when we were riding on Gobby Road, and I noticed people would just take off running. And I said, why are they running, man? He said, cause Scroll in the car. Ernie, you deserve this retirement, bro. I worked for you. I did the best I could for you. But you know what, bro? You deserve everything you got. I learned a lot, and I'm proud of you. And I'm proud to call you not only my boss, my friend, my coworker, but my friend. Enjoy.
However, I wanted to say thank you to Strozier, because when I came, I was 21. I was at the time the baby of the department, and when I first got promoted to sergeant, he's the only one that put a book in my hand to help me develop. So I want to say thank you. You have helped all of us pretty much grow and develop in the profession that we're in, and it's because of you. So thank you.
I can say for an absolute fact that during my tenure as Fulton County, I had the unique opportunity to work with Strozier on various instances, particularly in criminal investigation, where we used to have our greatest thrills. But I could truly say that When Strozier got on your case, there was no dodging it because he was going to go after you for all he could. And I just want to say to him, when we were working as detectives, there were 3 detectives in South Fulton County who had triple homicide investigations solved. And Ernest Strozier was one of those guys that solved it.
I started here, I remember Strozier when he was started up here with the fire department. And he was riding, he worked about 2 years, and then next time I looked around, I observed him, he had a police uniform on. And I said, "You with the police department now?" He said, "Yeah, I went there." I said, "Well, how you like it?" He said, "I like it." I said, "Well, that's good, Stro." I said, "I think you'll do good." And we end up riding, became real close, riding motorcycles together. Strozier, he very smart, very knowledgeable on the policies and the rules, and anything that I needed to know, I would always go to Strozier. And right now, we still pretty close, and I appreciate that, Strozier.
CID, Strozier was a sergeant down in CID, and he taught me a whole lot about investigations. Even though I had my training, schooling and everything, but as being a sergeant over the CID, investigating homicides and stuff like that, you know, and when I had my first case of a homicide, and he was out there and making sure I did everything correctly. So, and we still keep in touch now. So, other than as a supervisor here working at College Park and me being an officer, we're still friends. I still talk to him from time to time. And so I just want to say, Strozier, it was a pleasure and a joy working with you. We'll still keep in touch, and I just want you to just enjoy your retirement to the fullest until you decide on your next endeavor. Thank you.
Wow, this day has finally come. How you feel, Mr. Strozier? Personally, sir, and on behalf of the citizens, residents, business community here in the city of College Park, thank you for your 30 years of service. That's 3 decades. That's about as long as I am old.
I would like to congratulate Strozier on a job well done. He's very community-oriented. When I first came into College Park, I didn't know him. But as he's leaving College Park, I know him very well because he stopped by my house plenty of time to eat chicken. And the first thing that he asked, where the food at? But we came very close because my wife worked with him for many years. And I want to let Strozier know that we're going to miss him in the community. And anytime you want to stop by and eat chicken, I'm a preacher, so anytime you want to stop by and eat chicken, there's always some on the table. Congratulations.
He came from LaGrange. He was a fireman in LaGrange, and he was an inspector in LaGrange. And he put in for an inspector position, and they wouldn't give it to him. And that's what made him transfer to the police department. He got mad at him. But ever since he left the fire department, he just went straight up through the ranks, man. And he enjoyed being a policeman. He gonna miss this. I really do believe. But I remember when he met his wife, they got married. He was just one happy fellow about meeting Lois and everything. Me and his family, we used to I used to go down there and hang out with them. He come over and hang out with my family. But Strozier, you're gonna miss it, brother. And College Park is losing a good fella in Ernest Strozier.
Right, but I was just compelled. I just wanted to tell you that our kids, sons, played football years and years ago. And what came to my mind when I'm sitting back there, it's something about that name, even with the song. Strozier, your name is always, I know you, but I never, compensated you and my husband always compensated, but just thank you for your service, because your name has reigned in the city for a long time, especially there at the football field, and you're dearly be missed. So,
Honestly say I probably know Mr. Strozier better than anyone in this room. I actually rode with him in a car for about 4.5 years and carried his briefcase, of course, got his lunch. Every time we caught someone, they would say, "Please, Mr. Strozier, please." I'm like, "I'm not Strozier, I'm Neymar." I'm proud of you, Ernie, and I probably could say that you're the second best police officer, but I wouldn't be honest if I would say that. You actually finished the drill. And I'm very proud of you, and I just want to let you know there's a wonderful world out there waiting for you. And just do whatever you want to do because you earned it. Thank you.
We're here on a very rare occasion. It's not often you see people nowadays stay on a job for 30 years, let alone in law enforcement. And for those of us that have been in law enforcement for 3 decades, as Ms. Coco said, we know the kind of toll that it takes, not only on our health, but on our families also. And so I know it's hard for many of us to see Ernie go. I didn't have nearly as long to work with him as I would have liked, and I know it's difficult to sum a man's career up in the 7-month period that I've been here. But here's what I know. Just the amount of people that have shown out here today and the things that you all have had to say about Ernie Strozier speaks volumes about what he meant to this community and what he will continue to mean to this community. And that won't ever be forgotten. And so as we move forward as an agency, he leaves behind a legacy to younger officers that he's had the opportunity to mentor to over the years. And there's something really profound about being in law enforcement for 30 years. You had the opportunity to learn from people that came before you. You had the opportunity to pass that knowledge along to other people. And policing has gone through a transition. You know, there are a lot of injustices in law enforcement now. If you look at Ferguson, if you look at Baltimore, if you look at the different cities throughout this country where police officers are shooting people in the back, where we're under constant scrutiny, where we're not viewed in the same light that we might have been back in the 60s and 70s. But here's what I heard today. I heard that people get up here all the time and say that it's not about arresting people. It wasn't about that with Ernie Strozier. It's not about how many people you could put in jail and them showing you a lack of respect. It's more about, you know, the relationships that you build over a 30-year period. And just the fact that everyone sitting here in this room right now is a testament to those relationships that he's been able to build over a 30-year period. And I know that he'll be missed in the College Park Police Department. I know that he leaves behind, as I said, a legacy, and a lot of younger officers they'll be talking about 10 to 15 years from now. And so those are the sort of things that really matter when you leave a police department. Did you leave it better than it was when you found it? And I think everybody here would agree that the answer to that is yes. And so for him to have built those relationships over the years and carried those relationships, and he'll continue to carry them into his retirement, I think will serve him well, you know, as a person, as a man, and as he continues to grow and move on and do other things. I have no doubt that he'll be successful in whatever he decides to do. So on behalf of the College Park Police Department, Ernie, if you would come forward. We wish you well in your retirement. We want to thank you. We want to thank you for the years of service that you put into the College Park Police Department.
Wow. When I used to go down to my hometown, LaGrange, and tell my sisters and brothers that I was a legend, they didn't believe me. Do you believe me now? It's been a good 30 years here in College Park. I came up in 1985 to the fire department. I came from LaGrange. LaGrange is kind of small. And when I started at the fire department, I took the test at station number 2. I reported for duty at station number 1. When I got there, they had these 1959 fire trucks. And I was coming from a modern fire department, but College Park was like behind the times. And it was this guy named Wallace Presley. He was a sergeant. And I said, Wallace, I said, I took the test at station number 2. And I reported to work at station number 1. I said, where are the other stations at? He said, it's it, baby. And I came from LaGrange. LaGrange was small. We had like 4 or 5 stations. But College Park, they kind of came up, this particular building right here. When I started at the fire department, the fire chief told me, said, don't worry about this building. We're going to get a new building real soon. 20 years later, we got the building. After 20 years, we've been in the building for 10 years. After 20 years, we got the building. I just want to say that, like I said, it's been a fun 30 years. Went by pretty quick. With the turbulent times now, everybody hates the police until they need the police, and then they love the police. Me personally, I never had to shoot anybody. I never had to shoot my gun. And my family didn't know it. I got shot at once. But when I caught the guy, I disarmed him and did what I had to do with him. He paid for it. But yeah, it's been a great 30 years, and I'm gonna enjoy myself in retirement. Heard it was, I'm surprised it's not storming outside, because he don't get up and speak on nothing. He always silent. But me and him, the last 2 weeks, we've been doing a lot of motorcycle riding together, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do. Ride my motorcycle, and maybe in January next year, I might seek out employment. But if I don't have to. And like I said, I'm gonna enjoy it. And how many of y'all watch the auto auctions on TV? Nobody? The auto auctions, car auctions, yeah. You know, the old guys sit there and they weigh the thing in the air and say, I'm gonna buy this. And I always told my wife that. And I guess about a month or 2 ago, things lined up. My son started working for Delta. I got flight privileges. So I'm gonna have the opportunity. I may not buy the car, but I'll be able to raise my hand at least one time. But like I said, thanks to everybody for coming out, and thanks for everything you said about me. And like I said, I'm leaving a good legacy in College Park, and I am a legend. Thank you.